sir, on pardons. Have you ruled out a pardon for yourself or any other additional members of the family?
For myself?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did I pardon myself for?
That's what I'm asking.
No, I have no contemplation of pardoning myself for anything. I didn't do anything wrong.
Mr. President, would you comment on Meta's decision to...
So Joe Biden, in his last despicable act as president, pardons his entire family. His entire family. What utter bullshit. Joe Biden is, was, and always will be a lowlife and a criminal.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today we got to talk about Joe Biden. We got to talk about these pardons, man. This is freaking ridiculous. For 4 long years, Joe Biden and his allies lectured us, preached to us, and condemned us with one mantra: no one is above the law. That's what they told us. No one is above the law. But in the final moments of his presidency, Biden's actions betrayed his words. In the last 15 minutes, a flurry of controversial pardons went out the door. General Mark Milley, Dr. Anthony Fauci, members of the Biden family, and even the likes of Liz Cheney. These aren't just political figures. These are architects of division, the enforcers of failed policies, and in many cases, the ones who have used their power to push agendas that hurt everyday Americans like you and me. Why would they need pardons if they've done nothing wrong? The answer is simple. They know what they've done. And by granting clemency, Biden has tacitly admitted their guilt, shielding them from accountability, covering up their actions, and spitting in the faces of every American who demanded the truth. Now let's break this down. General Milley, the man who admitted that he would warn China of a potential U.S. military action. Or Dr. Fauci, the so-called expert who gave us endless lockdowns, shifting narratives, and questionable funding for dangerous research. Members of the Biden family who they faced years of corruption allegations. And Liz Cheney, who weaponized her position to divide the conservative movement, who also played a diabolical role in the J6 prosecution, also allegedly coercing witnesses to change their testimony. These are not acts of leadership. These are acts of cowardice, and the pardons prove it. President Trump's first day back in office, it must be clear. It's time to enumerate these folks' crimes. Lay them bare for all to see. The American people deserve transparency, and no amount of last-minute pardons can erase the damage that these people have done. If they believe they escaped justice, they're wrong. We see them for who they are. We see them for what they are. And the fight isn't over. These pardons may shield them from legal repercussions, but they do not clear anything. It doesn't clear their names, and it definitely doesn't clear their names in the eyes of history or towards the American people. We, the people, demand accountability, and we won't stop until justice is served. This administration is going to go down, hands down, as one of the worst administrations, if not the worst administration in U.S. history. Biden's going down as the worst president in U.S. history, and he's definitely the worst president, at least in my lifetime. These past 4 years could not have gone by fast enough. And we dodged a freaking rocket by not allowing Kamala Harris to become the 47th president. I got some clips to share with you guys, man. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Those that pulled up to the live stream earlier today to watch the inauguration, man, I appreciate you guys pulling up and supporting me. Let's get into it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's keep it rocking.
It's a Fox News alert. President Biden, this just came across, just issues new pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci. You could call these preemptive pardons. Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired four-star General Mark Milley. This just happened moments ago. It also includes the members of Congress and staff who served on the Select Committee and the U.S. Capitol, and D.C. Metropolitan Police officers who testified before the Select Committee. This as Trump prepares to take the oath of office in just a few hours.
Would that include Liz
So,
Cheney?
so
What
it's
a mess.
No, it doesn't. I
Select
guess, yeah.
committee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
select committee.
The whole select.
But what does it say? Mark Milley, who is chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under both Biden and Trump, you know that what he's
100%.
done in the past. You know that he was calling China, trying to putting down President Trump.
I mean, what are they afraid that Pete Hegseth is going to see when he goes to the Defense Department and look at the files and data? There's been no talk of going after Anthony Fauci.
Well, Rand Paul is.
There may have been some senators, but the president himself has not said he wants to prosecute
and here's
Anthony Fauci.
Yeah, absolutely right. And here's the thing. You pardon somebody who's been convicted.
Right.
They haven't been
There's a
convicted.
confession.
They haven't been charged. This is crazy. It will be interesting to read the exact language, and because it just broke, we haven't seen it yet. But remember, when Hunter Biden was pardoned by his father, the language was extraordinary because it essentially. We know some things happened during certain time periods, but this was a 10-year window. Anything he did during those 10 years was essentially it was a get out of jail free card. So it'll be interesting to see the language, the parameters of what time we're talking about, and what it talks about, what he has pardoned them from.
His brother wasn't on that list.
It's so ridiculous, man. These pardons, preemptive pardons, or pardons issued for potential future offenses or crimes that have not yet been charged, it's never been done before in the United States of America. And under U.S. law and constitutional tradition, a pardon has always applied to acts already committed, whether or not the charges have been brought. The fact that these people are being pardoned from no charges, they haven't actually been convicted of a crime, they haven't been actually charged with anything. I mean, there are some examples from way back when, where, Gerald Ford, pardoned Richard Nixon back in 1974. He granted Nixon full, free, and absolute pardon for any crimes he committed or may have committed, or taken part in, during his presidency. That did happen. And then during the Civil War or post-Civil War, you had amnesty and pardons for Confederate soldiers. But obviously there was a war that was fought. And then Jimmy Carter, he gave amnesty to Vietnam draft evaders. So Carter basically issued blanket pardons to individuals who had evaded the draft. They had actually committed a crime. So a lot of but we've never seen someone be pardoned. One, blanket pardons, 10, 15 years like that. And then two, you hadn't actually been charged with anything. We don't know anything about the crime that you may or may not have committed. And you get pardoned from that. So these people could have committed some really heinous crimes. And hey, you guys can walk away free. It's flat out ridiculous, man. It really is.
Joe Biden counting down the minutes till he leaves office. And we've actually just heard that before leaving, he has preemptively pardoned several people, including Dr. Anthony Fauci and Liz Cheney, to guard against what he called revenge by the incoming Trump administration. Tell us more about that. And has anything like that ever happened before?
Well, no, virtually never. This is extremely unprecedented for a president to use his constitutional power of forgiveness to preemptively protect those who might be targeted by what he sees as politically motivated revenge. Now, what are we talking about here? We are talking about three prominent figures who have become prominent in their opposition to Donald Trump. Not always very staunch opposition, some staunch, some not so. There's Mark Milley, who's the former Joint Chairman of the Chiefs of Staff, highest military, civil service military figure in the U.S. You also have Liz Cheney, who has basically become the pariah of the Republican Party for her very prominent and outspoken role in becoming the Trump critic within her party. Very few people have been as audacious, as some would say courageous, as she has. And you finally have Anthony Fauci, the scientist, the coronavirus pandemic advisor to Donald Trump, partially to Joe Biden. All of these people have marked themselves in Trump's bad book as potential, if not enemies of the people, at least enemies to him. People that he has vowed to his base to go after, to target for prosecution, potential prosecution, more broadly, retribution. What Joe Biden is essentially saying is these are people who, in his view and in the view of his Justice Department, have done absolutely nothing wrong, nothing criminally wrong, to justify potential prosecution against them in this new and incoming administration. So what he's doing is presidents are allowed to do it. You take your authority, you basically give these people a protective shield, a shield against the prosecution to come. Will it absolutely work? Maybe not, but it will slow down any potential prosecution that Donald Trump may try to pursue in his first days, weeks, months in August. It's not an ironclad protection. It's not an ironclad shield, but it is something more than symbolic for these people who have been namely and publicly often targeted by Donald Trump, named and shamed by him in very boisterous speeches to his followers, to his base.
People like this guy here who see this as something that is good. This is a good thing. And it protects these people. If you committed a crime and it's wrong, you should, one, face the penalty. If you're not wrong, go let justice and let the justice system prevail. Let due process work itself out. Hopefully, even though, maybe these people are shielded, hopefully we will find out what they're actually guilty of. We should know what they've done. Joe Biden told us when he got into office that his administration would be the most transparent administration in U.S. history. It's been everything but that. And when you look at the people that he has pardoned some very interesting people, some very dangerous people. It just makes you wonder, who has this guy or the people in his administration, who owns them? You have to ask that question, man. And I don't recall Trump saying that, hey, he's going to start going after people, although you have, Pam Bondi and the Cash Patel and others that saying, hey, we're going to look into it. And if it warrants us, charging a crime and potentially, going after these people, we'll do it. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what they're supposed to do. If there's no crime committed, shouldn't have anything to worry about. But the fact that he's offering this to them, now we'll see, because this is offered. Fauci may say, nah, I'm good. General Milley, he may say the same thing. Liz Cheney may say the same thing. They may say, you know what, thank you, but no thanks. But if they accept these pardons, if they accept them, what they're doing also is admitting guilt to the American people. And at that point, if they accept it, we should also know exactly what their crimes were. What crimes did they commit? We should know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, though. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hey, I'm so looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this. Keep God first in your life. Stay prayed up. We'll catch up with you all next time. If you'd like to support the channel another way, you consider buying your man a coffee, or you could join the ARP family. Hit the like button for me on the way out, and I'm going to catch up with y'all. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.